What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Thingamajigger Thursday of 2025. In today's episode, we're going to do the big giveaway drawing. That'll be at the end, so stick around for that. We're going to take a look at last week's mystery tools, take a look at next week's mystery tool, and I'll show you one of my favorite tools, and then we'll do the drawing. Okay, let's do it. What are you waiting on? So we had lots of great guesses this week, a combination of guesses from different folks. We kind of got most of it. This one here was the only one that didn't get nailed exactly, other than from Sir Mr. He said something like, looks like you're measuring the nitro in your Model T. And what I think he was getting at is these guys along with this guy. So we'll start with this. This is actually an ignition coil, which a couple people did guess, but it's out of a Model T, a Ford Model T. And I kind of showed this little Ford symbol right here. And it's an old, obviously it's old, early 20s-ish, I think up until 1925 or 1927 is when they stopped producing the Model T. It's very different, well, not very different, but it is different from current ignition coils. There's two sets of coils inside of this, a primary and a secondary. The primary is powered by the battery, and when it energizes, it has a solenoid, an electromagnet that squeezes down, which breaks the field for the high voltage coil, which then sends out spark. And it does this continuously, the whole time it's operating, so it's continuously sending out spark. Whereas modern coils have the coil, you know, a high or a low voltage coil and a high voltage coil, but it requires the points in the distributor or an electronic set of points in the distributor to break that secondary coil to send the high voltage spark when it's required. I got two of these. I gave one to my uncle, and this is actually the box they came in. This is how they were mounted. So really, really neat. You know, I mean, I'm basically holding a 100-year-old ignition coil out of a Ford. So really cool there. Nice job on that, Mr. T, or Sir Mr., sorry about that. And then we'll get to these. And there was actually a couple, like, half-correct answers. We had a couple, or at least one guy say a hydrometer for maple syrup. And living where I do, up in northern Michigan, that wouldn't have surprised me. But these are actually for petroleum products, gas, oil, that kind of stuff. And what a hydrometer does is it measures the specific gravity of a liquid. Now these ones, and I showed this for a reason, I don't know if this lens can see it, but it says API scale. That's American Petroleum Institute. And that's why I showed that. These are actually used for measuring the specific density or relative density of gas, oils, you know, petroleum products. And honestly, if I wasn't running late today, I was going to get some gasoline out here. Generally speaking, they're set for a specific temperature range. So like this one actually says, and again, I'm sorry about the lighting, but it says temperature 60 degrees F. All right, so the fluid should be at 60 degrees F. Then you would set this in the fluid. You give it a little spin to get the bubbles off of the glass in the fluid. And then wherever it settles out at, you would read the hydrometer, and that would be the specific gravity. And a lot of times they're based off of water. So let's say it was 55, so 1.055 times the weight of the water, you know, something like that. Now, I'm not a professional at that at all. I'm just basing that off of, you know, 10 minutes of reading. But yeah, that's what those two are for. So nice job on that for the folks that got pretty close anyway. And then the last one, we didn't have, actually we did, I'm sorry. We had one exact guess. So these are the two I showed. And this is what everybody thought it was. And honestly, I didn't know. I had to look them up, but I ended up using them the week prior to showing these last week. So that's why I brought them out. This is a nail set. You put a little nail in the end. This one's for like trim nails, siding nails. I bought this one just for the soffit on my barn here, soffit and fascia. So I put a trim nail in there. This little tang here holds on to it, and then you hit it with a hammer. That way you don't leave a big hammer mark on the soffit, right, the fascia. These two buggers look very, very similar, but if you notice, there was some grease on there, and I haven't touched these since last week. You fill the inside of this with grease. Fill the inside with grease, load the tip back up, This one did not work for me. I tried it several times and I couldn't get it to work. I had a locked up Zerk fitting on my tractor and I could not get my hand grease gun to pump grease through it. That's what these are for. These are grease fitting clearing tools. So you take your, you fill it up with grease. This one did the trick though. You push it against there and then you hit the end of it with the hammer and it forces grease out through the fitting. And that did the trick for me on that one. This one unscrews from the back, filled up with grease. And yeah, so that's the 3 mystery tools from last week. Thanks again for everybody throwing your comments down there. Now we'll take a quick look at next week's mystery tools. Actually, one of them is a tool and one of them is not. We'll take a look at these first. There's no writing on them as far as I can tell. And like I said, I kind of just gave it away that it's not technically a tool. And I'll even tell you this much. I thought it was something for a 3/8 wrench. Or a 3/8 ratchet, sorry. And it's not. So if you got a guess on what these buggers are used for, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Most folks know the drill by now. And then this one will be the actual mystery tool for next week. This handle is basically, well, it's just bent to shit right now, but it's got a little nice turned wooden knob up here for the rest of the handle. You can get a look in here. That will be next week's mystery tool. I haven't tried to, oh yeah, that can change height, it looks like. This is the longest I've ever messed with it. I just pulled it out of the bin of unknown tools. Wow, that's a lot of threads. It looks like it's got some owner markings on here, just kind of scratched in the side, or etched. Okay, so there's that one. Now let's move on to our, actually we'll do one of my favorite tools. This one, I don't know if I would really call it a favorite tool, so I apologize for that. Sockets. I've been going through lots and lots of sockets lately. So these are my 3/8 sets that I keep out on the workbench that I'm always using. Short and deep. And one thing, if you're not super familiar with tools, high end, you know, your Snap-ons, SKs, Protos, Wrights, Williams, you name it, they're all made a certain way, and then your lower end stuff, it still might be decent quality, but there's a big difference, and this is the easiest way to tell if you can't see the name or you're not familiar with the name, this is the easiest way to tell if it's a high-end quality socket. So I still have a lot of my 25-year-old Craftsman sockets on here, so we'll just take this 19 for example. Okay, these are made in the USA, they're nice. If you look inside of there, the broaching goes all the way down. Let me get a flashlight on that for you. You can see all the way through there. Okay, now that's not a bad socket, but if I take the next one of these, here's one, an SK socket, okay? Here's the difference. The broaching only goes down to about there, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, something like that. You can see those sidewalls. And the reason for that is that if you're trying to start a nut onto a bolt, say somewhere down on an engine bay, you can put the nut in there, reach down in there and start it. Okay, like especially if it's like in a recessed position where you can't get your fingers all the way around the bolt or the nut or whatever, and you want to just be able to stick it in the socket, reach down there, get it started, or even if you got 2 or 3 extensions on there or more, the nut will stay right there at the top of the socket. And with this one being broached all the way down, that nut will just fall all the way down inside of there. So now that one's actually broached a little bit less. This one only comes down to about here. Most Craftsmans are not broached like a high-end socket. They're usually broached all the way down. Like this one is broached all the way down to about here, whereas this one is actually closer to there, which is very rare. And I haven't figured out what the difference is. This is a double E For those that don't know this, these old Made in USA Craftsmans, they'll have like a double E or a V or G2, G1. That's typically where it was made, the plant that it was made in. Some of them have the deeper broaching, some of them have the more shallow broaching, but virtually all, probably 99% of these have the deep broaching all the way down. Okay, that'll do that for that. If anybody's got any suggestions on favorite tools, I would love to hear them. Or handy tools or whatever. I know I got a comment a while back. I think it was Rob Bacon mentioned a hole punch, a Whitney hole punch. I do have one, and I will be getting to that. Okay, now on to the giveaway. Let me scoot this out of the way, reposition. And I'm going to try to do this all in, well, not try. I will be doing this all in one take. All right, so here's our list, and you guys can pause this here if you want to just double check it, see if your name is where it should be or not be. I haven't even put numbers on it for the order, but the 13 circled, the 1 circled, and the 9 circled were the people that had specific requests. So Dave Lorge and Curtis Scott, you were the only ones that requested those, so you are just going to get those. So Curtis Scott, you get your dental drill. Who was my other one? Dave, you picked number 9. And I'm going to have to look at my picture just to verify what these are. I should have labeled them on here. Bear with me. Number 9. Oh, the crimp pliers. These guys. So Dave, you'll get these. And we had Just Nobody But Me and Dr. Jade wanted the pliers here, the plier wrench, made by Chicago. Made by Chicago? Chicago 40. All right. I know this lens isn't as good as my other lens, but it has a better wide angle. And I want to do this all in one shot. So there we go, the Chicago 40 plier wrench. So we got two fellas looking for that one. So I will label you guys number 8 and number 9. Doesn't matter which is which. There's our mixing bag. What did I just do with my pencil? There it is. Put an orange pencil on an orange case. That was stupid. All right. Actually, let me just number everybody else. And then one of you two guys will be, it doesn't matter. All right. So 1, 2, let me cross you guys off. Curtis Scott is out. Dave Lorge is out. All right, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so Just Nobody and Me and Dr. Jade, you will be number 5 and number 6. There's number 5, there's number 6. Bag is empty. And this is for those pliers. Number 5. That is Just Nobody But Me. There it is, number 5, Just Nobody But Me. You won the pliers. Okay. I will give you a circle. Actually, I will just cross you out. Okay. Now, whoever's left, so number 5 is out of the drawings now. So number 6. Now we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. So that's our numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Okay. Again, bag is empty. This is for the whole enchilada. Raw bacon. These other ones out. I'm going to check it one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Yep, okay. Number 4, no freaking way. No way. I swear to God, guys, I am not rigging this crap. There it is. There's the rest of them. Took no cuts. There's all of our chips. Raw bacon, you win again. Pulled out number 4, telling me that's raw bacon. I don't know how. Everybody else is just gonna have to pressure him to not join, I guess. That's unreal. You should be buying us lottery tickets. Unreal. I can't believe that. All right, raw dog. Well, enjoy it. So raw bacon, I've already got your information, so I'll get that put in the mail soon. For Just Nobody But Me, Curtis Scott, and Dave, I'll double check who I got, but I'm still gonna follow the rules because honestly I just don't remember off the top of my head. Other than that, thanks for playing thanks for playing the giveaway. I'm starting to feel bad for everybody. I mean, that was a 4, right? I mean, I'll double check the footage just to make sure I didn't screw that up. Jeez, what the heck? All right, everybody. Again, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate everybody and all of the comments and all the thumbs ups. Please like and share. You know, still trying to grow the channel. Doing this in my spare time today. I just had to burn another $400 on a new mic because my Rode Wireless 2, I know I've mentioned it before, sorry. I ended up going with the DJI Mic 2. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so hopefully the sound has been all right. Let me know if there's anything funky about it. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a good holiday season. I know our kiddo goes back to school in a couple days. Then it's back to business as usual. So, all right, that's all I got today. Appreciate it again. We'll see you next Thursday.